The Rise, Hype, and Backlash of Audra Winter. This is centered around the controversy on Booktok, mainly about negative criticism about the highly anticipated debut novel written by Audra Winter. And this is going to kind of be categorized in a good, bad, and ugly situation. But as always, we're going to start with the good parts of the book and everything in general. So Audra began in 2021 promoting the Age of Scorpius through her world building, which is based on the zodiac signs. And she was very consistent with it and showing the journey of her writing process. Well, not really her writing process, just that she has this book in mind that she's really passionate about publishing one day. And yeah, a lot of it was the world building, what's in there, and she had a lot of artwork to back it up. She hired these professional artists to create this massive universe, and also she founded her own studio called the World of Guardian. That is what her book is around, and she has been doing that for a very long time. And one thing I can praise her about is the marketing, because she took a lot of guts to do such a thing like that. And a lot of authors, when starting out, that's really what they lack. They could have some great writing, but when it comes to marketing, it's like kind of scratching your head to like, oh, how am I going to promote my book? And Audra exceeded those expectations by a million years. And she did an extraordinary job. And with all the world building and the tropes and the premise of the story really got people curious of more. They wanted more about what Audra was creating. Like great ideas, great concepts. Now let's see the real thing. So that's what Audra did. She gave her audience what they wanted, and she kept on talking about it. She kept it very consistent, talking about her book, The Age of Scorpius, and it like her audience grew, her following grew, and that's truly amazing. I'm not saying I'm jealous in any way. I'm just saying that it's just extraordinary. And shoot, I want to say, if I had that marketing ability and all that stuff, I would definitely not take that for granted. Audra had a pre-order and funding campaigns to support the book, and she had over like 6,000 pre-orders, and that's like a lot for a debut indie author, which is extraordinary once again. And that's amazing. And she did it through, once again, like funding campaigns. She kept posting. She even had it on the TikTok shop. That's really amazing. And she posted about that progress and that amount of success that a indie author would not see, whether it's a debut book or if they're a seasoned writer. That is just unreal. And another thing I want to say is the artwork. The artwork is amazing. It's like, it was really done. And that was one of the few things that was really, really pushed on and stressed upon the most. The world building and the artwork was just amazing. The character designs, the places, the concepts. We admire the concept of ideas, and we get to see the results and the execution of it. And that's what I'm about to get to in a minute. Ironically, I am very late to the hype train, but I'm still like hearing about this like to this day, and man, really got me passionate about making this video. By the way, so she published the book officially on June 27th, 2025. So amazing, so excited. That's very amazing. And for her, shoot, she was rising like crazy, like 6 figures worth of money. Like, that's amazing. And for a debut book, that is really amazing. So anyways, Really quick, let me get to like maybe a synopsis or like a little background to it. 18-year-old Rika Spring has been determined all her life to piece together a Guardian's fragmented historical record and reverse her sign's emotionless code of honor. When she finally locates an ancient archive containing classified knowledge of Guardian's history, Rika discovers a scroll that reveals the existence of a mythological weapon and uncovers the truth behind the Scorpio code. It's nothing more than a manipulation tactic to keep Scorpio in power. So, like I said before, this is based on these zodiac signs. This is a fantasy, romantasy. Check me on the romantasy part, but I heard about that. Anyways, so violating the code's holy orders is punishable by death, and Rika's broken the first tenet: never show emotion, unless she wants to be murdered for displaying her anger against the law's will. She must find and prove that a mythological weapon is more than a story before she's killed by the hauntedly familiar assassin sent to stop her. So the main character is neurodivergent. Some of the themes that is found in the book is resistance against fascist regime. Some of the themes explored in her book is resistance against fascist regime, queer romance, and like I said, it's zodiac-based fantasy. A lot of her audience was eating this up and really into the story. And her audience wanted more of that. They wanted more about the world, but more of the concept of the world of Guardian that she created. So she had written The Age of Scorpius since she was 12 years old. Now she's 22. So basically that took her 10 years to complete the story that she wanted to tell. And I always encourage writers and readers to tell the story that they want to tell. And that's what she did. 10 years does sound like a long time, but stuck in the same story, that's another thing. And this is where we're getting into, well, already got into the hype, but this is when the hype starts crashing down. This is where the criticism and the bad reviews and everything comes into play. Anyways, whenever I went on TikTok, like crazy sensation, like I was seeing a lot of backlash on Audra Winter, like literally as the author. And I know a lot of people were talking about the book too, but it felt like the attack was really on her. And a lot of it was about the poor writing in the book, and she barely had it edited. Too much reliance on the world building and the art concepts that were great. And I even read a review that said there are great ideas about the book, but the execution was just terrible. I wish I could quote it, but shoot. But a lot of backlash, a lot of hate going against Audra and the book, her debut book, that was hyped and highly anticipated. Let me go on that Amazon page really quick. I'm going to read that first line because, oh my gosh. And to let you know, this is no longer like available to be like ordered or anything because she shut it down pretty much. Oh my gosh. But if I look it up, Scorpius. Okay, I found it. I actually found it. Okay, so right here. So, The Age of Scorpius and its premise became a TikTok sensation 2021 to 2025 with over 5 million likes and 12 million views. This highly anticipated YA fantasy debuted by Audra Winter is filled with magical mysteries, found family, forbidden powers, and strong rebellious women. The Age of Scorpius is a unique blend of the sword and sorcery, dystopian, mystery, and romantasy genres, featuring a sapphic protagonist and diverse cast of characters. So pretty much, I'm going to go back to the diversity. So remember I said the main character is neurodivergent. So pretty much, this is kind of what she said in a way. So she said why the book failed was because of the diversity. Like, so she was pretty much like, because it's neurodivergent and all that stuff, and pretty much. But that is just a lame excuse of saying why your book failed. Your book failed because it wasn't what people thought it was. You did so high on the marketing and the world building art concept, but your writing was inside the book, the literal structure of the book is just horrible. It's horrific, and it really, really reads 6th grade. I have not bought the book. I have not read the book at all. I've heard about the hype. I heard about the backlash. I heard about the rise, the hype, the backlash. I heard all of that. I've never touched a book in my life. But I've heard a lot about this, and I feel so passionate. I'll talk about it to you to make you aware about what's going on. But also, I want to share light about this because there is light at the end of the tunnel. So, anyways, the reviews. Oh, let me go back on Amazon because, so on Amazon, on Amazon it says 2.9 stars. That's 21 reviews. But you go on Goodreads that has 171 reviews, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's 1.71 stars. That is awful. And the minority who put like 5 stars were people who supported her and really liked her anyway. And they said that just, to be nice. Everyone else pretty much, yeah, we hate the book. Straight up trash and like. But also, I'm going to have a turnaround of this really quick. Because those people who bought the book, y'all wanted to know, like, what the book was about. Y'all loved the marketing, the world building, the characters, the art concept, and all that. You wanted her to tell you more about it, and that's what she gave you. She gave you it. She marketed it. She made sure your eyes were on that screen because you loved what she was digging out. And you were pulling that all in. The people who pre-ordered the book with their hard-earned money, saying it's a waste of money and they want a refund. Hey, you can't get refunds. Like, no. And shoot, like there were plenty of red flags, like no ARC reads, no free sample chapters, like very little showing the inside of the book, and more of like the concept of it. And this is like, I even wrote down right here, having the idea of something. That it kind of made me think about Joker 2, of Harley Quinn liking the Joker but not liking author, whatever his last name is. But Harley liked the idea of the Joker, not the person behind the face paint or the mask. So pretty much the audience who was rooting for Audra's debut book is that her audience liked the idea of the story and not so much of what she really had, what was behind the book cover, like what was behind the exterior. Her audience, her intended audience, her potential audience did not see behind the book's cover. And I guess I could say that's a clever marketing tactic to distract people from like what's really behind the curtains. And I guess it was for Audra, and this is my opinion, like the lack of like really showing the process. She showed like more of the marketing process than the actual writing process. And she lacked of focusing on the writing, that when people actually got it, they talked trash about it, like either reasonably or unreasonably. But a lot of it was pretty valid. I'm so glad I'm recording at this time instead of like earlier this week, because okay, Audra actually sent some announcements about due to her what happened lately, the mental health and all that stuff. She was going to come on August 4th on TikTok to address things, to make this huge announcement. And that is what she did. So on August 4th, she actually went on there. And yes, I am looking at this currently. But yeah, it's a 9-minute video. A 9-minute video about her basically saying she is going to redo the whole thing. Like, we're going by going, like, we're going by scratch. And she expected it to be done and published, the second version of it, by December, which is an unrealistic time period for a book that size and that needs that much work. And according to her, she said anyone who bought any version of the first version of The Age of Scorpius will be eligible for a free digital app. Slap in the face, that is the cheap knockoff. Like, seriously, if you were give me the actual free physical copy of, not a digital thingy majig, because people paid their hard-earned money to get that book. And also, she also said she was going to raise the price because of improving quality of the book as a whole. Hello, honey. No. And I read this comment on this very video. I don't know where the comment is, but whenever I read it, I really liked it because it mentioned about Sanderson saying that to move on from the work, like, do not write it, basically. And I think Audra was in the wrong of just saying, we're going to make a second version of this completely, and I'm going to get this done by December. Well, she kept on saying we. I'm going to get to the third person part in a minute. So one thing that Audra kept on saying was this we, like, her and the team that she had are responsible for her unexpected demise. Like, that's something that I really noticed. So like why is she saying we? It's just her right there in that seat. And it's like, oh, we're going to do what we can. No, you're going to do what you are going to do in order to give a better product. And like, I don't know, I guess kind of got sick of her saying we and us, and like, when she is the one who is doing it, like, primarily in charge of it. And yeah, she needs to take accountability for herself and not put others in the lion's den. But she is completely rewriting this. I believe she's in the wrong because, like, why rewrite it? Like poof, like, you had this big audience, yes, and all that, but you failed them. And you're writing this second version to get your redemption. Lightning does not strike twice. Trust me, it does not. What I am predicting with this second version of The Age of Scorpius is that it's going to, the numbers are going to go down because of what happened the first time. So that's why I'm saying you should have never rewrote. My opinion, keep going, keep writing. And I am not afraid about this. I'm not afraid because I want to publish my books. In fact, I want to publish my first one this year. And shoo, this will be my debut. I'm going to do it by trusting the process. And I'm going to grow an audience who not only believes in the work that I'm doing, but also the person who's making it. Because, okay, it's kind of like the art and the artist. Like, is your audience able to separate the art from the artist? If not, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard to, like, really, like, separate the two. And with Audra, she had a very difficult time of separating herself from her world, The Age of Scorpius, the world of Guardian, I'm sorry. And working on it for 10 years straight without writing anything else. Okay, that's kind of sounds amazing in a way, but at the same time, it's like you're playing the same fantasy over and over again, and you're not improving in your craft of writing. Instead, you are so addicted to the same story that you are, I guess, somewhat perfecting. Well, I would say perfecting the world building, because it looks like very little has been done with the writing. Audra also said that she is going to start auditions for copy editors and proofreaders starting on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Well, maybe this past Tuesday, or if not, it would probably be the like 12th, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so she's gonna pick out someone from her audience who pretty much liked her book, and yeah, go through there. So rather a bias type of audition, like that's not how it works, honey. That's not how the editing process works. You don't set auditions. Mm-mm. Like, you're just setting yourself even more for failure. Like, not as many people are going to come back to the world of Guardian like they did the first time around, because they're basically getting the same thing by revamped in a way. And I believe what's going to be revamped is the art. The art is going to be revamped, not necessarily the writing. And I think it's going to be very hard. I want to straight up just say, like, I am not bashing this author in any way. I'm not being disrespectful. Like, I'm trying to say the utmost respect and honesty, and based on what I'm getting from this current situation. And I can't imagine what she is going through. But like, this is a lot. A lot. And no, she did not intend to rip anyone off. She was very passionate about the work that she was giving out. And she was very passionate about the Age of Scorpius and this world of Guardian. And I bet her plan was to expand that even further. And like I said, I can't imagine like how much she's really going through and what this means to her and all that. And I heard that she's going to keep going, but I just hope that she does this right this time. Like, not only take the marketing seriously, that she done exponentially extraordinary job, but also take her writing seriously, because that is going to determine her readers, really. I'm going to end this with a nice little end note that I actually posted on TikTok the other day. So here's the video. Imagine creating a whole universe at 22 and getting hate for it. A quick disclaimer, I have not bought the book, and this is based on all the controversy that is going around this author, and I am here to give her grace. So Audra Winter published her debut book, The Age of Scorpius. And there has been a lot of talk about that all over on Booktok and different platforms on social media. And first of all, she self-published this book. She marketed. She actually did a great job marketing her book, her debut book. And she got like over 6,000 pre-order sales. That's amazing. And she has this gift of marketing. That's just so amazing. I wish I had that gift of marketing. Her debut book took her a span of 10 years. Think of the 20 years it took Tolkien before he published Lord of the Rings, and now it's one of the greatest books of all time. Audra is a young author. She is learning the waters about, writing a book. And all this criticism is just coming all of a sudden after we, the audience, were so intrigued of what story that she wanted to tell. And we were so curious about the world, about the story and everything. And that's what she did. She gave us what we wanted. I don't know everything that happened behind the scenes between Audra and who she allowed to get involved, but she took a lot of guts to put her book out there. The fact that she written this book since she was 12 years old, that's just amazing. That shows that firing passion that she has for that story, The Age of Scorpius. I can see ups and downs and all that stuff, because I can understand being stuck in the world for so long. But of course, there's like some things I could say, like kind of separate yourself from the world, like even though you love it so much. Like I completely understand, and there's so many writers and authors who definitely can relate to that, like loving the story that they told and they want to publish it, and it's just so hard to separate from that story. And it's like separating the art from the artist pretty much. And I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She did a great job promoting her book. She was not trying to rip people off. She was just trying to tell the story that she wanted to tell. And I appreciate that. And, you know, it's actually inspiring me. Like, any negative criticism that I might get for my books, like, I'm going to just take it as a grain of salt. Because it's just criticism. Whether it's constructive, bad criticism, or whatever criticism. Like, I might read it and be like, okay, I'm just going to keep writing the stories that I want to tell. And I encourage Audra to keep writing the stories that she wants to tell. And this is my hope to anyone who wants to write anything. Don't let criticism just stop you from telling the story what you want to tell. Because you have a story that is worth telling. And it doesn't have to be shared to everyone as long as you have a heart for writing that story.